Hi everyone, welcome to Rick's 1/35 scale models. My name is Rick. Today I wanted to show you the new model I just got, which is the Amusing Hobby Leopard 2A8. Now, initial looks at the model, it's a really nice kit. I'm actually surprised it had more detail than I expected, but there's one major problem that it came with, and that is the way they package some of the parts. Now, inside they have these really nice, really immaculately done baskets done in resin, and it's one of the nicest prints I've seen in that kind of a product. The problem is they package it in a Ziploc little bag and it floats around loose inside the model and the box when it gets shipped, and mine had just a hint of a little crush on this side. Nothing major, no parts were damaged whatsoever, but that part was damaged. Now, normally I would write it off to bad luck, but I'm not the only one. Lots of people, I've talked to 8 different people who also got this model in the last few days, and they all had the same issue. I'm actually one of the luckier ones. My part just had a small piece of damage. Theirs were basically crushed. This is really back to how they're packaging the item. Now, they have some other resin parts in there that are put in a little plastic box which protects them, but this, the most delicate part, is just loose inside the box, and it's irritating. What really upsets me is when I reached out to Amusing Hobby, I didn't really expect to get a response, but I did. And I'll quote, "Hello Rick, it's regretted to see the kit suffered so seriously damaged during delivery, for we have just dispatched 35A058 to Chinese distributor up to now. I guess the kit was brought from them to their dealers, so you could apply the loss directly from the shop. As to our side, we haven't enough 3D parts at present, which we are ordering from our accessory factory. If you could wait for some time and afford the freight to USA, we could send you the replacement later. Best regards, Amusing Hobby Team." Now, I do appreciate the fact they got back to me. My biggest issue is they packaged it bad, and I don't care how or what. Everybody else who got theirs destroyed. Their boxes were pristine. It was packaged properly. It was shipped properly. It's just it floats around inside with all the other parts and it gets crushed. The fact that they got back to me I appreciate, but then they want to charge me freight. So I'm irritated with that, to say the least. But I do want to look at the model itself, and I do think it's a really nice kit. I think they did a great job. That part, though, I'm not happy with. So I will say right up front, if you're going to buy this kit, it's a great kit to buy. Don't order it. Buy from a model shop where you can make sure the parts are okay, because it's a pretty big part. It sits right on the side. It's very obvious. It's really a nice detail to it, and you want to make sure it's not broke, because at this point it looks like there's no options to get a replacement. Anyway, let's look in the model and see how it is. So, looking at the instruction manual, you have your cover art, the basic information, your normal procedures and rules and processes they want you to follow. Then you dive into the next page, has your information here on all your sprue sheets. For the first time Amusing Hobby in these demonstrator vehicles actually put these decals in. I'm really happy about that. That was nice of them to do. In the other models I've done with their demonstrators, I've had to actually create these, so that was great that they did that. That's a first. You have, like I said, the rest of the parts here. Diving into the model itself, you have your process of building the lower hull, the road wheels, the drive sprocket, the return road wheel. It does have on the front return sprocket road wheel, it has the older version with the crank on the back to adjust it, where they have the big rod that sits on the back here on the hull. That I'm sure is going to be the hydraulic version. I've been doing some research and I believe it is, but I haven't verified that. So if that's true, then this part here wouldn't go on the model. That would be vacant, but I'm still looking into it. I know that the demonstrator models did have an older version Leopard lower hull that they modified, but the actual production vehicle, I'm sure, would have the hydraulic. It looks like it does have the movable supports here. You have to build it. It's a little different there. That's going to be kind of precarious because you got to make sure this is all aligned right, or these will be out of alignment. Going into assembling the tracks, they have you using 84 sections, not 82, so that's a little different. It won't be 100% accurate. Going through the rest of the hull here, all the back parts, nothing overly dramatic or special. It's pretty straightforward. They don't have the removable mud flaps. It's just pre-installed, kind of like the Hobby Boss does. It does have the older Spectus on the back. It does not have the Spectus on the front. This is how the demonstrator was. It did not have the newer versions. It is nice. They have some PE sheets for the air conditioner system that sits here. That's something on the newer hull, so that's also something that tells me it should have the hydraulic adjuster versus the manual. Looking at the rest of it here, you've got the front fenders. Starting into the turret, you have your periscopes. They also have grills back here, which is another neat one. You're really hard to see, but it's a neat feature they have. A nice detail. Going through your L55 installation here, they have a plastic and a metal barrel, so you can use either one, whichever you prefer. And then going through the turret itself, adding all the parts on there. You can see here all the different details you have to add. Because the Spectus system sits here, they had to move the smoke launchers up to the front on this one. Here's these baskets I was referring to, their installation, how they sit on the tank itself. And then you start the Spectus build. Continuing on, this is actually not the Spectus, it's the trophy system. You've got your newer version periscope for the commander for his system. This has the extra armor and different processes. You have a 50 caliber machine gun that sits on the roof in this model. One of the neat things it does have is there is a logo on the sensors for the trophy, and this model has that. I like that feature. Finishing up here, and then you have your completed model. They have basically two different paint schemes. They have this dual color version here, and then you have your demonstrator version with the logo on the side. This is at this point the only one I've actually seen a real one of these, and this is how it looks. The paint scheme and everything pretty accurate. I mean, it's straight green, but the decals and all that are nice. Here's going to be your tracks. They are the sectional ones, kind of the normal way. You've got the top, the bottom, and then the bar that supports them on the Leopard tanks. The detail on these is okay. It's not overly sharp. It's kind of blurred, but it does look accurate. They are correct. I don't see any major issues on them. And then you have a little jig here to help your building process. They don't have the fancy feature where you can lay them all out. They have to individually be removed, so whatever. And then I do have some damaged here. That was the only damaged plastic I had in the whole model. This is going to be part of the turret. You've got your sensors here for the trophy. As I said, you've got the logo here, which is real nice. You've got your G36 machine gun holder here. It's got really good latches and handles on it. I like the print. All the different print here is real sharp. You've got your bolts. You can see the pattern on them. They got the non-skid, which is nice. These two parts had popped off. They're not damaged. They just came off. They've got real thin connection points, which is actually makes it easier to remove. More parts to the turret. You can see part of the trophy system here. The launcher here, the reload system here. You've got your system that sits behind the commander here. Really nice plate with the non-skid. The bolt pattern is all correct. More sensors for the trophy, and then more parts and all for that. They also have a glass piece here, which is neat, so they can see through it, but it still has a protection for if it launches for the crew if they're unbuttoned. And then you have your hatches for the commander and the loader. This will be the lower hull. The underplate, you've got the M class here, the extra armor plating. All this really good detail as far as your bolt pattern and non-skid, accurate. They don't have the handles here for the access points. You can cut these off and add your own if you want, depending on how you want to go. They have the PE sheet here, and here, which is a neat detail. All in all, this is really good quality printing. Nice. This is going to be one of 3 of your road wheel and supports for the model. Now, one more thing that shows me that the this is not 100% accurate as far as the lower hull. Those parts I already mentioned. The drive sprockets are rounded here, which is how they are on the newer version, as you can see. So that also is another thing that tells me it may or may not be that way. The other thing I noticed here is you have a little drone here. So I'm assuming this is actually going to be from the KF-51. I'm assuming, because this doesn't have any drones on it. So this print is probably going to be from that. This will be part of your smoke launchers, your recovery hooks, this will be more parts. You've got your grab handles here, some of the different devices on the model itself, smoke launchers, part of the engine neck, your access inspection points, part of your side armor, and your shock system. This is going to be the sides of the lower hull. You can see you've got your armor plating here on the M class for the upgraded for mine protection. You've got your auxiliary generator, access points here, some of the armor, side skirts, different access points and guardrails, and that your front mud flaps. This was that part I was saying, the adjuster for the front tensor for the tracks. I'm not sure that's necessary. Before I build this, I will verify that one way or the other. This will be part of the turret. You've got the lower portion of the turret, your 2 upper parts of your hatches, the commander and the loader. You've got the protective plate that goes over the main sight, which they're putting on all the newer Leopards, and then your side skirts or side wings for the turret itself protection. Really good detail. These are those access points for the air conditioner system, the venting for that, and then also really good nice welds and beads. This is a little on the thicker side, but it's not bad. This is going to be the turret top portion. It's overall not bad. It does have some parts I wasn't real happy with, namely right in this area. This is all solid and thick, where in the real one this is open. This box here actually swings outward, and there's a little hook that sits right here that it pins into from right here. There's a PE sheet that covers this, which is nice. In there, it's really hard to see in there normally. That's also open, so you know, that's not as good as it could be, but it's not horrible. The non-skid on this is as accurate and nice. This part here looks good. All these details in here are done really well also. So overall, if you wanted to have your front armor removed, that's not going to work because this is completely inaccurate. It's not how it looks, but once it's covered, you'll never notice it, so it's not a major deal. This is going to be your clear plastic. It's all decent, not bad. There's a little bit of warping on all of these on the inside, so if you do the painting the backside, it's probably going to be noticeable. Once I deal with it, I'll know one way or the other, but not 100% perfect, but it's okay. As I said, it does have a metal barrel. This is pretty nice. They even have the little holes on the sides here, so that's pretty decent. The fume extractor here isn't that nice. It's smooth. One where on the real one it has a really distinctive fiberglass pattern on it, so that's something that would probably want to take a little bit of sanding at an angle crossways to create that, but it's fixable, but it's not correct in the model. And then they have this little box for one of your parts for the resin. You go in there and you have your fume extractor here, which I said is smooth. Now they did this in resin, so they could have taken the time to add the texture to it, but they didn't. So that's, like I said, not as good as I'd like. And then you have the front portion of the barrel. That's a really nice looking print. You're going to have a couple things in a bag. This is going to be for the siphoning hose that goes on the back side of the tank around the engine access point. Then you're going to have your basic PE sheet here. Mine, because of the way they packaged it, bouncing around, it's been banged and dented. That's easily, I can roll that out, but that's something that don't normally see. It is fixable though. This is going to be the decal sheet. Really good print on it. Nice. You've got all your different labeling. I like how they have the Euro trophy here for the trophy system on top of the side skirts with all the different countries that use the Leopard tank. So that's a really nice feature. I'm glad they did that. It definitely upgrades the model when you build it. And lastly, we're going to look at the resin part. This is the one that was broke. I was able to repair some of it. It's not as good as I'd like. Like I said, I was lucky. Mine wasn't totally broke. There are two little top pieces here. Both of them it's broke off. This basically just sits in a bag and bounces around, and it's very fragile. So you know, if you were to squeeze it or crush or bang it, it will shatter. It's the resin they use is very brittle. So, but it's an absolutely immaculate, amazing looking print. If you look here, you can kind of see through how the mesh is in there. It's a really nice design part. Just the way they package it is where it all failed. So that's the model, that's the overall look. I know I was kind of hard on the Amusing Hobby as far as the packaging material, but that's how I feel. And I do want people to be aware of it. When you get the kit, make sure that part's not broke, or if you go to buy it, you need to look, because if it's broke, you're going to have hell getting a new one. I am going to try and design it in the 3D printer. It's a little bit of an involved process. It's something I haven't quite tried yet, as far as because I have all the little holes on it. But I think I can do it. If I end up successfully creating it, I will post it on my Facebook page, and anybody who needs the part, I'll help you kind of go about getting that replacement if it works out. Either way, please like, subscribe, comments, questions, always welcome. Get me on Facebook, get me in the text of the videos. I always say I try to get back to everybody as fast as possible. If for some reason I don't get back to you, bug me again, let me know. Anyway, take care everyone, happy modeling, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.